Tamara, and welcome to my YouTube video. Could you hear me singing just a second ago? I was actually singing the praises of the ENTJ because they're one of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types, and I think they deserve just a little bit of praise. When I think of an ENTJ, what really comes to mind and what should come to everybody's mind is their ability to lead. ENTJs, hands down, best leaders, except for maybe the ESTJ. But we'll talk about them on another video. But for today, we're going to focus on the dynamic, outstanding, courageous ENTJ. You can say what you want to about these people. I've heard ENTJs say that people either really love them or they really hate them. ENTJs do have a very strong, dominating, forceful, assertive, take charge, take no prisoners attitude. They just wear it. So sometimes, yes, that could rub some people the wrong way. But whether you like them or you hate them, they are phenomenal leaders. I think ENTJs have a supernatural ability to lead. There's no other way to explain it. It's unprecedented. It's crazy how they have the ability to lead and take organizations to a level beyond what you could even imagine. If you have a business or an organization that seems to be falling apart, put an ENTJ in there and they have the ability to turn the whole thing around. Their cognitive functions work quite well in this capacity because they have extroverted thinking, which is what helps them to lead. So they're great at organizing for efficiency and systematizing things. They also have introverted intuition, which helps them to really fast forward into the future and see any problem areas before they can happen. They have the ability to go very long range into the future, play out things and see how they're gonna work out, what needs to happen in order for success. Their extroversion also is a huge advantage when they are in charge of a corporation or they're a CEO or they're military leaders. You'll find a lot of people in the military who are ENTJs. They have very complex, layered minds that help them to be able to take in an enormous amount of information that most people would find extremely overwhelming and daunting. Hone it in and create the best systems and organizations. They take on challenges very well. In fact, they welcome them. I think a workplace that they're in charge of is like a playground. They're bad to the bone. They're great at that. There is one challenge that would be difficult for ENTJs to conquer. Tell them not to lead. They cannot not lead. They have to take charge of situations. It's just in their blood. So they're good at organizing, seeing flaws in a system, being long-range thinkers and planners. They're great strategists and love efficiency. They like competence. They're super intelligent, proactive. They like to master things and see results. Sometimes ENTJs can come across the people as very angry, like, "Arr." And they may actually spend a lot of time defending themselves. They're not actually angry. They just can sometimes have a very naturally forceful nature of communicating things, or there might be an energy and excitement in it. They're not actually mad at anybody. That just is the way that they are communicating at times for effectiveness. People find them very intimidating. And I'm going to say something that's kind of weird. I think when it comes to the work arena, when they are leaders, there might be good reason to be intimidated by them because they're so good at what they're doing. You can't help but sort of step in line to where it is that they're going. And if you trust their vision, you're going to arrive at some place great. But they can be very assertive. They can come across as very arrogant, very cocky, very, but I think that's a little shocking to them. They're not deliberately trying to lead in a way that's arrogant. Yes, they may have a lot of pride. Yes, they might have a big ego. But as far as just trying to have this arrogance, that would be shocking to them, or a little surprising anyway. ENTJs are fiercely loyal to their causes, to people that they are friends with or that they're involved with. You can trust them to hang in there and really fight for the cause and stick with things.
A conversation with an ENTJ can be an enlightening learning experience. ENTJs are not intuitive feelers, but they have the ability to delve deeper into the self, to do self-analysis, be introspective, and understand their own underlying motivations in a similar manner as the NF temperament. They journey on a quest to become better people, which fosters growth and self-improvement. A mature ENTJ likes learning from their past mistakes and difficulties to integrate acquired knowledge into their present lives, which helps them develop a brighter and more productive future.
I think that their introverted intuition is sort of a calm, deep, inner place that people won't necessarily see because they're going to see that extroverted thinking that's being objective about things and taking charge and making things happen. But they have an inner world that's giving them direction so that they can execute in the powerful way that they're capable of doing. They have a very strong attraction for distant goals, and they can be argumentative when it comes to a point that they're trying to make. They can have moments, just small moments, of coming across as insensitive or uncaring. They can be very impatient. They are juggling a lot of data at the same time, and they know where they want things to go. So there's a part of them that needs people, but sometimes they can sort of push people away because they can come across so robust at times, which, if you're leading a huge group of people, that can lend itself well in the sense that they're not going to be run over, they're not going to be taken advantage of. People are going to step in line, and you have to have a thick skin and a toughness to lead a huge group of people or lead the military into action. You have to have that. So I'm not mad at you, ENTJs. You keep that. I say jerk jokingly and not jerkingly. It's sort of part of their swag. But here's the cool thing. But if you can prove to them that they're incorrect about something and you can stand up to them and prove your point, they are going to respect you in a new way. So because they're not a feeler and they are thinkers, they're gonna be able to take it objectively. They admire people who can stand up to them and make a good argument about something and show them that they're wrong about something. It's hard to really challenge an ENTJ because their way of thinking is so up here. It's like, let me think of something that I can combat them with. Okay, I can't think of anything. Because the way that they understand systems and the depth in which they go is just, it's hard to match. Love, relationships. It's a side of them that you will find equally fascinating because remember, they have very complex layers to them, and so it can be fun just figuring them out. They don't like feeling vulnerable. Sometimes they can act like they are absolutely allergic to feelings. Not that they can't see a greater good in the world and wanting it to be better and having people in their minds when they're executing a plan and wanting things to be better for people and not having heart. I'm not saying that at all. But that vulnerable place is that soft place. They have the ability to go there, but it just doesn't feel all that comfortable to them. So they're gonna sort of run from it. In a romantic relationship, they can go there, they can tap into that more sensitive, vulnerable side and really care about the person they're with. Because they have such strong extroverted thinking, they can deepen a person's analytical skills when they're working with them, and they can create smooth functioning systems. Another thing that fascinates me is sometimes they can be show-offs. Like, they can kind of pop off. Yeah, that's the best way I can say it. They can get into a mode that sort of clicks. They just sort of get this surge of energy. Like, if they want to show off in front of somebody, they can be very impressive. They can become workaholics. In order to hone in these systems and pieces of a workplace the way that they need to, it takes an enormous amount of time to do that. Sometimes because they have such quick minds, so a couple of things. Slow it down a little bit. Also, they need to make sure that they're taking good care of themselves because they're putting themselves into that space of workaholicism. Making up a word here. Make sure you take some time for you. I think what's fun about, my voice cracked, didn't it? If you're in a relationship with an ENTJ, is when you do nice things for them and you see that vulnerable side, they really appreciate that. I don't think that they receive that sort of thanks or gratitude as much as they probably deserve for all of the good things and the impacts that they're having on the world, because people think that they don't need it. Sometimes people look at strong people and they think that they don't need anything. Truth is, they do need that, and it does make them feel really good. And also doing nice things for our military, because we know that many of them are ENTJs, so we want to make sure we thank them for all the nice and wonderful things that they do. And they use their verbal skills to make a big impact, to impress people. When they go into that vulnerable space, they can sort of go into, it's almost like you see these clouds and you see these peaks of sunlight that just sort of shine through. So, you know, those peaks can be quite magical. I would say in a relationship, ENTJs, don't forget to tap into that piece of you that can be very caring, and use sort of that loyal aspect of yourself to tap into and look out for the person that you're involved with and show them that you really care about them. Don't be afraid of that place. You don't have to go there with everybody, but definitely in a relationship, I would encourage you to tap into that. Probably more than what you feel comfortable with, because you're good at it when you need to be or when you want to be. So let us see the sunlight peeking through those clouds a little more often. They have a high need to control, so when they are in charge, you will see them compartmentalize. I mean, that's something that I've heard them say that they like to do. They are going to stay in control of every little piece of that organization, and it can come across as controlling, but at the same time, it's kind of good because they're going to make sure you don't get lost in the forest. They never reach a point where they stop growing. They can become quick-tempered and impatient at times, and there's a part of them that is driven by perfection. They can be crazy hard on themselves. So what stresses an ENTJ out more than anything else? Failure. They do not like failing. They can become so hard, so judgmental, so harsh on themselves. But just remember, ENTJs, you know, everything is a learning experience. Things that you may be judging yourself harshly on and calling yourself incompetent for are things that other people would just kind of blow away. You do enough great things that, you know, don't be so harsh on yourself. Lighten up just a little bit.
Famous ENTJs are Simon Cowell, Bernie Sanders, David Letterman, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Rahm Emanuel, Chelsea Handler, Jeff Lewis, and Adele.
Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can watch more of my Myers-Briggs videos. Thanks for watching my video. Bye, everyone.